Get ready, guys, for a jam-packed episode full of our best 30-second tips and strategies of the whole year. How cool is that? Pretty cool, I think. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Serious Sellers Podcast by Helium 10. I am your host, Bradley Sutton, and this is the show that is our first ever year-end special. Stands for our TST, our 30-second tips. But as you know, throughout the year, sometimes people call that T not 30 seconds, but they call it 2 minutes, 3 minutes, sometimes 10 minutes. But anyways, the key is almost every episode, we have some just hard-hitting quick strategies. That's what we're about here, right? Serious strategies for serious sellers of any level in the Amazon and Walmart world. And so you guys had sent me some messages on which ones were your favorite of the last year. I know not everybody has had a chance to listen to every episode. So what I want to do is I want to consolidate all of the best of the year as voted by you into one episode. So we're going to show you guys that episode right now. If you want to have links of which episodes these came from so you can listen to the whole one, those will be in the notes. All right. So if you're watching this on YouTube or listening to this on the podcast, the best way to get to the show notes is to go to helium10.com/podcast and then find this episode. And then you'll see transcripts of all our episodes, including this one. And this will take you to the episode numbers where these ones are taken from. So we've got a variety of ones, from the Maldives honeymoon strategies to some tips from Kevin King to learning about sourcing on Chinese websites maybe you never heard of. Here's the best of the best. Let's go.
30-second tip: save every insert you ever buy. That's it. Whether it's a receipt from Firehouse Subs or from anything, be a student of what it takes to get people to stop, pause, and take action. And that's the way that I do it, is in inserts. I take notes on ads that I see on TV. Just be a student and take that down. Don't just take it down, but write actionable steps of how you're going to implement it in your business.
I think I've talked about this before, but it's so important in Market Tracker that people do not do, is use Market Tracker for ideas on how to expand your product line. Like right now, I am looking at the Market Tracker for the coffin shelf, all right? And I see a product here that is asking me, do I want to track it or not? And my answer is no, because it's not a direct competitor to the coffin shelf. However, it's a great idea for an expansion of a potential tool or a potential product for Project X. All right. So the coffin shelf, what it is suggesting for me to track is this coffin key holder. I don't know if you guys can picture that, but it's like shaped like a coffin. It attaches to the wall and has like a hook on it so you can hang your keys when you come in the door of your house or something. Now, I don't think I am getting losing sales over that product. So I am not going to consider it part of this market. However, that gives me a great product idea for a potential product line. If somebody's interested in a coffin shelf, shoot, they'd probably be interested in a coffin key holder too. So use Market Tracker, guys, to give you ideas on how you can expand your own product line for products that maybe you didn't even consider.
I have a good one for you. If you have any following at all, any audience, any social media, anything, especially Instagram, we do this on Instagram. We set up a poll on Instagram. It's like when the stories, you do a poll and you just say, hey, have you bought one of our products before? Yes or no? That's it. Just set that up, let it run for 24 hours or whatever, however long they run for. And then look at the number of people, or look at all the people who have said yes to that poll. And maybe it's 1, maybe it's 20, maybe it's 200, whatever it is, right? Go and send them a DM, a direct message, and ask them for an honest review. Okay. That is within terms of service, because these are, you're not incentivizing, you're not stealing, you're not whatever, right? You're talking to your real audience who bought your real product and you're asking them for an honest review. We do this, and that adds another 20, 30 reviews every 3 months or so when we do this. So it's a quick, easy, honest way. And they're following on Instagram. They're probably a fan of yours. You're probably going to get a 5-star, right? So it's really easy for anybody who has an audience to do that.
These are like home decor kind of wooden products. So what I did was I actually put these on Etsy, and then I called these defective products. All right. So like I made it very clear in the title. I was like, all right, guys, this is what the product is. You know, I named the product, but this was from a defective set of units that our shop had produced that doesn't meet our standards. And so we're just going to give it away for free, plus the shipping. And then I had pictures of some of the examples of the defects, and I put it up there for like $3 plus shipping. I was like, let's see if this works. And guys, oh my goodness, this was crazy. All right. I sold out of these defective 2 products, 350 plus 250 units in like 4 or 5 weeks. All right. We were selling like crazy 10, 15 units a day of these defective products that I really didn't pay for because I got credit from. On Etsy, I guess, you know, people are like cool with that kind of stuff.
Don't try to do it on your own. Collab. That I started it out on my own, which was cool. But when I started realizing you can work way better and be more productive and progress even more when you work with someone else. Maybe they may be bigger than you, or someone that's maybe in a different lane. That cross-pollination and that cross-promoting, that cross-collabing would help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Mm-hmm. Don't be. And it's really that simple.
You have to be split testing your product photography, especially the main image, as well as the rest of your image set and your price point. Sometimes the photo that you think is kind of like intuitively or aesthetically the best does not drive the best conversions, and you have to use data in order to guide that decision. And honestly, like one of the like tips that people don't think about is you should actually be split testing your like packaging and images before even go live. Like you could use a tool like PickFu to do this testing up front, so that when you go live, you know, especially if you're doing some kind of like design for a label or packaging or something like that, like you walk away with the design, you like it, but you have no data to really support that. And like, how awesome would it be to have data to show that on average your target demographic prefers your packaging before over your competitors before you even go live on Amazon? So split testing pre-launch and post-launch are just so important. You'd be surprised the amount of increase you can see in keyword ranking, overall sales from having from split testing your main image. And so once you're live, you should be split testing on Amazon for that. And there's split testing tools out there.
You only have so much time on this planet. What are you doing? Are you having fun? Are you enjoying yourself? Are you showing up with a positive attitude? Are you taking care of your physical body, your mental body, your emotional body? Are you investing in your relationships and your hobbies outside of work? Or are you just grinding and miserable? It's like you get to choose how you show up in the world. And the world could use one more happy person. So do what it takes to be happy. Have fun. You know, bring positive attitude, be enthusiastic, and make good stuff. Stuff that truly serves the world. Stuff that truly serves your community. Keep making your products better, and then be profitable, and do it in that order. Have a good time, make good things, and then worry about being profitable. And if you've done that, you've won the game we call business. I don't care if you're at $50,000 a year or $50 million a year. That's the game. Yep. Have fun, make good stuff, be profitable. You know, don't burn yourself out by working 12 hours a day and sort of have your business be the reason that your personal life sucks, which is what a lot of entrepreneurs do. Make sure you got hobbies. Make sure you got a social life. Make sure you're investing in your relationships, because that will ultimately make you more effective in business.
So I have 2. The first one is fall forward. I don't know who resonates with this, but I'm kind of like I'm kind of a perfectionist. And like I said earlier, like I did product research for a year. You're going to make mistakes. Just go make them and like fall forward. And the second one was, I actually heard this you had a guest on before our last podcast, and he said something that's really stuck with me. He said, it's not a product selling business. It's a problem solving business. And I feel like as soon as I shifted my mentality to that, things went a lot smoother, because you're constantly like, things keep popping up. And like when you realize it's a problem solving business, you're a little bit more calmer and more productive when you come across those.
Let's start with TikTok. As I mentioned, like if you're making videos that you want to advertise, what you want to have is capture attention in first 3 seconds. So like most important is to have something that is going to capture the attention. After that, to send a clear message and get like clear call to action at the end of the video if you're creating videos. When it comes to campaign types and campaigns on Amazon, let's say, what's important, never mix match types. Like that's super basic. I know that everybody's like, oh my god, like everybody knows that. Trust me, we do a lot of audits for huge sellers, and that's something super basic, and a lot of people are still missing. Like mixing match types is like is not enabling you the option to place negative keywords. So you're going to block a bunch of your keywords just because you have all the match types mixed in one ad group. Other thing is like what you want to do is, as we mentioned, to not only target ASINs from the same category. Try to target similar categories to do some cross selling. Also, try to do when you're targeting ASINs, don't only target competitor ASINs, target your own ASINs because you want to protect your listings. That's the other tip. So. Oh my God. So I feel like that I need to say so many things in 2 minutes.
Okay, I'm going to share 2 things. Let's see if I can do it really quickly. When you wake up in the morning, put on really loud music and jump around like a crazy person. Just shake your body out, shake off all the sleep, like literally jump up and down, stomp, make some noise if you want to, but like shake off the night, shake off yesterday, and be ready to start the day fresh. You can also follow me at moondancer.puravida and see videos of me doing that. So let's start a movement. I will tell you that I made people do this at the last event I was at in Miami. And everybody was awkward at first. I said, I know this first one is going to feel awkward, but do it at home. I'm telling you, you'll love it. And everyone who did it they were like, wow, this is amazing. My Amazon strategy tip, really, if you don't have video on your Amazon listing, do it. Look at other people's videos and you will see it does not have to be fancy. You talk into the camera and show your product, or you smile, like the power of smiling, happy people using your product is amazing. And people love video so much. So you can really, or just opening the box and then moving to showing somebody use it. People love to see video. And I know so many people get intimidated because they think it has to be this super pro video. I have made expensive super pro videos, and those videos have like a couple thousand watches on YouTube. My first 3 majorly amateur, me fat and sweating with because I just given birth, with terrible sound, have hundreds of thousands of views. So people love authenticity.
So something people can do right now, if you're not already, is if you're paying for ad spend on Amazon, and at this point, almost everybody is, right? You have a couple ways to do it. You can have Amazon take the money for that ad spend out of what they otherwise would have paid you in your deposit, or you can choose to pay for it directly using a credit card. And that is the route I would recommend. If you don't have a credit card already, get yourself one that's got a good cash back rewards or miles or whatever, makes sense for you, and shift your ad spend over onto that platform, right? You're still spending the same amount on ads. They're paying you out, and then you just turn around and pay the credit card. But we've literally got clients who are making $50,000, $75,000 a year just in cashback rewards by running their ad spend through their credit card rather than letting Amazon hang on to it and reducing that payout. So that's an easy bonus you can do immediately as an Amazon seller that benefits you. You get those rewards for money you were going to spend anyways, rather than letting Amazon hold on to it and reduce your payout. So just a quick, easy tip, a way to put some money or miles, rewards points back in your pocket for selling on Amazon. That's easy to do, doesn't cost anything extra, and is a nice perk of being an Amazon seller.
My first tip would be to create easily more content to cover many weeks of posting. I would recommend to do a full shooting day. have like prepared shooting list beforehand. Just get together with your team, rent an apartment, for example, or whatever is needed for your product, especially. Take all the different clothes with you, take Christmas stuff with you, take Halloween stuff with you, and just make the photos during this one day, because then later you can edit those and you can use those images for like many, many weeks to come. And I think my second tip is to be super organized with posts. So what I like to teach my clients is to create like a management file where they have all the information about the posts they have done previously, because then you can easily see what types of captions you have made before. And then when you compare that with your results, you are more easily able to create new content that is a little bit similar to the post you already have done, but you just are able to make new posts more efficiently and more quicker.
Travel hack, hotel hack, right? So I pretty much live in hotels. So really it helps just by being like super kind and nice and complimenting somebody in the first 30 seconds that you see them and interact with them. So as soon as I get to a hotel and check in, I always, smile, greet them with a smile, compliment them. And then I ask them if they have any upgrades available. And, just being nice and being kind and greeting someone with a smile goes a long way. And normally I always get upgraded for free. So it's something simple, but a lot of the times people just don't ask and don't do. Instagram. So a lot of people, they just simply DM people, direct message people, try to send them a message, but then they never get answered, right? Because, we all get so many notifications, emails, texts every single day. So actually what I do when I want to connect with somebody is I actually just like maybe 4 or 5 of their photos over the course of a couple of days, leave a genuine comment, and then I actually strike up a conversation with them in the comment section and then bring it to the DMs or do a phone call, because unless you have a blue check mark and you're verified and you have a lot of followers, you're probably never going to get your DM answered.
Okay, slam dunk, easy win in 30 seconds is start, for the love of God, start using Manage Your Experiments inside of Seller Central. It is a free split testing tool. You can use it to test your title, your main image, or your A+ content. I recommend starting with either main image or A+ content. It's really easy to do. It takes 5 seconds to set up. Maybe not 5 seconds, but 5 minutes to set up. But the thing is, these tests take 4 weeks to run. And so if you start this now, you're not going to get rich quick, but you might get 1 or 2% every test. And then the thing is, your competitors can't catch up. It just takes time to run these. And so you've got like a 5-minute investment of your own time, aside from getting some different creative assets. But yeah, start using that, because if you can pick up like 1 to 2% on these tests every month, and you do that for 6 months, like you're going to be in a drastically better position. And I've talked to every agency owner that I know. I've talked to a lot of big sellers, and very, very few people are using this.
The two that I always start with, first one is sort of customer obsession. You will not, providing long-term customer value is the way to build sustainable business. There are ways to sort of accelerate your growth at the expense of sort of long-term success. So you can sort of mortgage your future in different ways, but that's not really the way to build sustainable business. So you need to build sustainable business. You need to sort of think like your customer. So really immerse in that persona. And if you're building a product, if you're thinking about product design, sure, you want to generate revenue, you want to discover a gap, but think like your customers. Like, why would someone need the product that you're trying to design? Like, how do they feel when they use this product? Like, what kind of emotion would you like to have when you use a product that you're putting on the market? So think with sort of customer first. I know it can be challenging at times, but that's what allows you to sort of have that product market fit. It cannot happen if you don't understand the market. So stay focused on customer. And the other one is ownership. So you as a leader, you have full ownership or sort of outcomes of your effort. So there shouldn't be a task too small for you as a brand builder. And so it's kind of silly. I feel sort of this is. I assume people listening to this podcast, they all believe in that. Like you're entrepreneurs, you're kind of pushing the limits, and you're kind of getting your hands dirty. But that's really impactful state of mind when you sort of take responsibility over outcomes of actions that you do.
Yeah, let's do a branding strategy. That's kind of where I get most excited, because I feel like most people are just selling generic goods to generic people. And like the beauty of the internet is it's given us this intimate connection. Like you can find a subreddit group, anything that tickles your fancy, right? And so when you write your copy, as I always say, like, Procter and Gamble, they made generic goods for generic people. And now we have these brands like, Dollar Shave Club or like the beard oils that they really speak to a segment. They narrow in, like laser beam focus. They know exactly who their target audience is, and they can connect with them with copy because they can enter the conversation that client's having in their head because they know their client like down to a T. In the supplement space, if we just make a nootropic for everyone, we've made a nootropic for no one. Because now there's people that are making nootropics, and if you don't know a nootropic, it's something that like helps with your mind, right? If you make a nootropic for gamers, now you can speak a language to them. Like there's probably a reason a gamer takes like a nootropic, and you would speak about maybe it's like when they're in the last mile of their first person shooter game. Like I obviously don't play video games, so I'm probably butchering this, but you could use words that really connect with them versus like, hey, this will enhance your mind and get cognitive ability and help you focus. It's like you would be talking about how they could be like the sniper all-star because they could shoot all their, that's what I'm talking about. We did this really well in CrossFit. We picked that niche with our supplements, and it was post-workout recovery. And again, it changed the whole nature of the language that we used. It was like you talked about not a workout, you talked about a WOD. That's what they talk about in CrossFit. They don't go to a gym, they go to a box. And they don't do workouts, they do Fran and Grace. And they have a whole language. If you haven't read that book, it's like tribal marketing or something like that. You have a language, you have a group of people, and people like us do things like this. That's what Seth Godin would always talk about. It's like you have to kind of carve out that community, and then you're really going to build a brand of loyal raving fans because people want to connect. They don't want to be a generic no one. They have actual likes and tastes, and they want to belong. And so when you can position your product as a product that speaks to the needs of a certain segment of people, then you're going to win on Amazon. You're going to win, not even just on Amazon, you're going to win as a brand, because that's what a brand is. It stands for something. It has a mission and a vision and a purpose that connects with people.
If you have a separate brand and you think it's a big enough opportunity to spend your time on it, then it deserves its own bank account, its own LLC or legal entity from wherever you're from, and its own Seller Central account. So do not take all of your ideas and have multiple brands all in one Seller Central account. And the reason is that if you ever want to sell off your pet brand but keep your brand in beauty, if you have it all in one account, you're never going to be able to do that, because the buyer is going to say, well, I want the whole Seller Central account because that's part of my intellectual property, and you're going to have to peel it off later. So if it's good enough to be a big enough idea, now number one, if you're just starting out, I encourage you to stick with one brand. But if you are getting bigger and you have another idea, absolutely critical that if you are willing enough to invest the money to think that you've got something big enough to go after, make sure you have it completely discreet. Might cost you an extra $1,000 a year or whatever it happens to be on the accounting side, but if it's a worth it of enough idea, keep all of your things distinct from each other so that you can exit one without having to exit the other. And my analogy is that otherwise you're asking a buyer to, buy a fruit, an apple, an orange, and a slab of meat, and they might not be interested in all three of those.
Sure. So one of my favorite ways is to show them that I am actually speaking with a number of vendors. I want them to feel that I'm interviewing vendors and that I'm working with other people. And it's not necessarily all about the price. I'm usually careful to mention that it's not necessarily about the price. It's about the relationship quality and trust and all of that. But I like to show evidence of the prices I'm getting elsewhere. So a simple screenshot of the price that you see somewhere else, even if it's in R&B, just do a quick conversion. And I use that. That typically will work because they don't want to lose your business. They want, they want to be your vendor of choice. So I will always provide a screenshot. I've even gone as far as providing the PI. I will, re-erase the vendor's name. And I'll say, hey, look, I've got this PI. And even though your delivery timeline is a week longer, I'm willing to wait. I like your product. I like you. I like your energy. But I can't, your prices are too high. I'm not going to be profitable. What can you do? And then a lot of times, and I think most of us will do this, is so right now I have an accessory that I'm producing, and my top number was $2 per item. They gave me a price of $260, and so of course I said, well, my top number is like $1.80. Can't do more than that. My landed cost needs to be a little bit, higher than that. So they came all the way down to $210. They were wanting to meet me, somewhere in the middle, but I knew $260 was just way too high. So I usually will go low, way lower than I know they will go, in order for them to land somewhere in that profitable spot. So those are two of my favorite negotiating techniques, especially as it relates to eWoolGo. Now, I will mention this too. With eWoolGo, typically you will need a sourcing agent. And having a sourcing agent negotiate for you, sometimes you end up with an even better deal than if you are back and forth and messaging on your own.
As far as a tip that's working well, it's really something I learned from you, Bradley. That's part of your Maldives deal that you did. And that's we've even incorporated this into like product savants now. With one of the reports we get on some of the new products, we actually show these opportunities where you take the top keywords from what I do is from brand analytics. I think you talk about using Helium 10, but I take the top relative keywords from brand analytics for my product. Mm-hmm. And you might have a list of say 20 or 30 of those. And then I go and I punch those into the Chrome browser, Amazon.com on the Chrome browser, pull up the X-ray extension. And then I don't really care what it's all showing there as far as stars and numbers and stuff. I go down to I'll go up to the filters, and then I filter it. And one of the filters over in the lower right corner when you bring up the lower right corner when you bring up the filter screen is title. And I just cut and paste that brand analytics keyword phrase in there, and see how many people actually have that in that exact form in the title. And sometimes it's like the word hand. I did this. Here's an example on this. I did it with one of our hand sanitizer products. We had a bunch of little 60 milliliter, which is like 2 ounce hand sanitizer bottles that were sold in a set of 3. And when we launched it, we were trying to get rank on hand sanitizer gel, hand sanitizer travel size, hand sanitizer mini bottles, all those kind of words. And after Bradley came out with the Maldives technique, I was like, that's a pretty good idea. Let me go see what's in brand analytics now. And there were words. I do this monthly now because there's new words that pop up in brand analytics that weren't there the month before, maybe when you did your research 6 months ago. And one of the words that had come up was mini hand sanitizer party favors. And that didn't exist, last year when we launched this product. That keyword didn't exist, or it might have been there, but there was no volume on it. So I wonder how many people have that in their title. And the product had slipped, because of all the problems we have. We were on page 4 for that, or page 5 for that keyword when you type it in. And, it was generating 10, 15 sales a day, something like that. I mean, for the top products on page 1, 10 or 15 sales a day off of that keyword. And so I was like, let me see how many have that in their title. And so I put that into Amazon, pulled up X-ray, did the filters based on title. One person had it out of 60 or whatever the results were. One had, so I'm changing the title. So I went and changed the title, and as soon as I did, immediately our product got suspended by Amazon's algorithm, so I had to get it back up. But as soon as because of all the other issues, but as soon as I got it back up, we went from page 5 to page 1 in a day, and started selling, instead of selling basically none, because we were on page 5 off of that keyword, started selling probably 3 or 4, 5 a day, because the sales went up 3 or 4 or 5 units a day just by doing that. And I was like, let me try that for a few other things. And I did that for a few other keywords, and it did really well. I'm doing that right now on some of this body glove stuff. I didn't go after the big, huge keywords because we haven't done our big launch yet. But I did the same thing, took the top 20 or so and punched those in and see which ones are not very competitive. And now these are not keywords that have 100,000 searches. They're the few thousand, the 3,000 or 4,000. Put those in the title. Almost from day 2 or 3, we're on page 2. And as soon as I get one sale, a lot of times you're on page 1. And so that's a great way to get some momentum going and to get the wheels rolling before you do a big promotion or a big launch. And I know you've done a podcast and stuff on this, and you did a huge research project with one of the launch services. and y'all came with a formula and adjusted it. And if you haven't paid attention to that or haven't gone to listen to that, go do it, because it can make a huge difference in how much money you spend to launch and how successful and how fast you can launch something.
I created 2 kind of fake products. These are products that were just like returns or I discontinued a long time ago, but I made completely brand new listings using Maldives methods. Again, remember, Maldives is not just about search find buy. You know, I optimized the title. I put keywords in the title that not many people had in the title. I started a fulfilled by merchant on day 1 and got some sales on day 1 of this. I did all of these things that are part of the Maldives honeymoon strategy. All right. Here is product 1. So what I did was I started the product, I locked in my canonical URL, all right? And I made sure some key keywords were in there. Let's just call it bread cutting board, all right? Bread cutting board was in my canonical URL. Then I was like, you know what? If I was doing search, find, buy, these are the 6 keywords that I would target. And I would have hit up AZ Rank to do it. But here, I'm going to do this without search, find, buy. And these were all low volume keywords because, again, guys, remember, I pay out of my own pocket for most of this stuff, and I have a limited budget with what I'm going to spend on these case studies. So I picked 6 keywords that ranged in search volume of 200 to 2,300. And let's just say that bread cutting board keyword is the one that had like 2,000 search volume. All right. So bread cutting board was in my canonical URL. And what I did was I did not have an auto campaign on. I did not have a research campaign or a broad match. I just had one exact PPC campaign, exact manual match, right? And I put these only 6 exact keywords. I put a fixed bid, super high, like $4 for this. I knew that was super high. I put fixed bid. I wanted to show up at the top. So from day 1, I was showing up at the very top of sponsored ads, and I put the price. I forgot what I put. It was something like $6 or something. And this is a $25 product because I was like, hey, I want people to see this as soon as they type in bread cutting board and these 5 other keywords and see, oh, holy crap, $6. I'm definitely going to buy this product. Now, what I did to put it at $6, I put sale price of $6. So the regular price, I put $30. I put a sale price that is from this date to this date of $6. All right. And so, because I didn't want to get the buy box suppressed. And check this out, guys. All right. On that one keyword, over 5 days, bread cutting board, let's just say that wasn't a canonical, I got 2,500 impressions, 26 clicks. These are all organic. I mean, organic as in I didn't pay anybody to do it or use AZ Rank or anybody else. 26 clicks, got 11 purchases. Now, the other keywords, a couple of them didn't even get a lot of impressions, and they didn't get a lot of clicks, and they didn't even get purchases. But check this out. That keyword right there, bread cutting board, 2,000 search volume, within 5 days, page 1, position 3. The other keywords that were kind of like variations of that keyword, again, that's part of the Maldives strategy. Check this out, guys. Every single one of them, I got to the top 10 of page 1. On one of them, I got page 1, position 1. Another one, 9. Another one, 4. Another one, page 1, position 2. The one that I got page 1, position 2, I didn't get any impressions in PPC. Guess what? How did I do that? Well, that was in the title. That keyword there was completely in the title, and nobody else had it in the title. Or like one other person had it in the title in Amazon. So Maldives still works, and that was a PPC only launch, and I got to page 1 for all of my target keywords that I would have done search, find, buy. In another sense, I did another product, same exact account. This was like a phone case. I had some old phone cases lying around. Again, picked 6 different keywords, used Maldives method, got an order within the first day. I made sure to lock in my canonical URL. 2 keywords only got to position 18 and 19. The rest, page 1, position 1. In total, I had only 10 PPC orders, and this was at like $1. I put it at $1 because this was a $9 product, and I put a sale price of $1. And so I got 10 orders, and of those keywords that got the orders, those are the ones that all got to page 1, position 1. So again, what is this strategy now, which is my first, and which is probably going to be multiple alternatives to search, find, buy. On day 1, try and get sales again, just like the Maldives strategy talks about, make sure to have your canonical URL be your most important keyword. Have that in your title. Hopefully it's a keyword that not many people have in their title. And then pick 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 keywords where you know that people, people will definitely buy your product at a cheap price for it, and then put a sale price, put a huge sale price where it's like irresistible, despite the fact that you have 0 reviews, right? Like if you've got a $30 product, are you cool with putting it at $9, as a big sales price? Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this year. We had some great, amazing guests. We hit a lot of milestones here on this podcast. Thanks, you guys. Over 1 million downloads. We had consistently over 100,000 downloads per month on our different podcasts. Don't forget, the podcast family is growing. We've got the Serious Sellers podcast, which is what you're listening to right now. We've got the AM PM podcast hosted by Tim Jordan. Make sure to listen to that as well. And then towards the end of this year, we launched our first foreign language Serious Sellers podcast. So if you guys are German speaking or Spanish speaking or have an audience that does speak one of those languages, make sure to go check those out. Just type in Serious Sellers Podcast auf Deutsch for the German one, or Serious Sellers Podcast en Español for the Spanish one. It's on Apple Podcasts, should be on Spotify soon. Or you can go to helium10.com/German or helium10.com/Spanish for those 2 podcasts. Make sure to take a listen to those, and then, make sure that you get a notification every time we launch a new episode here on this podcast, so you can hear more amazing or 30-second tips in 2022 that can help you crush your Amazon, Walmart, or e-commerce business. We'll see you guys next year.